I spent just under 3 months in the country of Turkey, and I absolutely loved it. And I want to give you just a taste of some of the things that I noticed that were different than what I expected when arriving. Some of these are tips and some of them are just simply observations. This is from an American perspective. These videos usually are controversial because people get angry because I speak about things that I saw. And so some people get angry. These are just the facts, and if you don't like them, then I don't know, just turn off the video, I guess. So I have notes here on my phone. I'm basically just gonna read them. This is kind of more just information, I suppose. So what's interesting throughout Turkey is the hitchhiking culture, I guess. I'm not sure how to describe it. Like, I often walk from point A to point B because I don't know how to get on a bus, or sometimes taxis, or I don't know. It gets complicated. I usually just walk places. Multiple times in multiple different areas throughout the country, people stopped on the side of the road and said, "Hey, do you want to get in?" And then they realized that I don't speak Turkish, and then things got a little bit more interesting because we had to communicate through body language or Google Translate. But everybody was so friendly. They legitimately just wanted to help me get from here to at least closer to my destination. They hated to see me or other people walk. There's like this hitchhiking culture built into Turkey. So obviously with my complexion and my skin color, I blend into Turkey pretty well. When I'm walking around, most people have no idea that I'm not Turkish. They just assume that I'm Turkish until someone asks me a question or tries to interact with me in some way, and then I can't respond, and they're like, "Ah, where are you from?" And then we have to use Google Translate. And once this happens, people get very curious, and depending on where you are in the country, this can attract a crowd. When other people hear my voice and realize it's not Turkish, they come closer and listen, and then you have other people. The next thing you know, there's like a small crowd around me trying to figure me out. So it's very interesting. People are very curious. I don't really stand out until they hear my voice, and then everybody becomes interested. Almost anybody who talks to you immediately turns the conversation to religion. That's the feeling that I got. Almost every person, when they interact with you for less than 2 minutes, eventually someone's gonna ask you if you're Muslim. I'm assuming those people are Muslim themselves when they ask you this question. I don't know. I didn't really ask why people ask me that question, so that's a thing. So customer service in this country is quite strange. At restaurants, at supermarkets, it doesn't really matter where you go. It's very strange to me, and here's how. You could go to a restaurant and sit, and the employees either are option A, not doing anything, or option B, they might be washing a countertop or something, and you're sitting there, they see you, they don't acknowledge you, but they see you, and they don't come up to you for like 5 or 8 minutes. And then they finally come up to you and take your order, which is very strange. In most other countries around the world, the customer is priority. Immediately when you sit down, they want to help you and serve you and make sure your overall experience is a good one. But in Turkey, no, they want to finish their task, whatever it is, whether it's cleaning the counter or sweeping the floor, they have to finish that first. Once that is complete, then they will come and assist you. But when they do come and talk to you or assist you or help you, they're very friendly, very kind. It's just that long, awkward pause of non-interaction is very strange. And it wasn't just once or twice, it's literally the whole country, everywhere you go. Same thing if you're in some type of store or shop to buy something, they will literally ignore you until they're done with their task, and then they will come up to you. So if you travel as much as me and you need a SIM card in every country that you go, get ready, Turkey's a little bit weird. It's easy to find a SIM card, but you definitely have to provide all of your identification and such. The part that's a little bit frustrating is 2 things. Number 1, you cannot get a local price. Will not happen. If you go to a street vendor and just buy a SIM card without identification, that's a thing. Doesn't matter, you're still going to receive a massive markup, and the SIM cards will be more expensive than local people. One time I paid 350 Turkish lira for 30 days, and another time I paid 600 for the same thing. In both examples, you got 20 gigabytes of data for 30 days. I even got one from a big company called Turkcell. I would avoid them if I were you, even though they're probably #1 in the country. Eventually, after you use them for a while, you'll get a random message on your phone saying, "Hey, you cannot use the SIM anymore unless you go into a shop and provide all of your details and all of your verification again." It just locks the SIM and you're screwed. So that's not fun. I changed to Turk Telecom, and after that, I never had any problems. So I would just start with them in the beginning if you can. I think what the government is trying to do is regulate customers and stuff, but it's kind of weird. They should regulate the sellers, not regulate the customers. It just makes more sense that way, but I don't know, it's a little bit weird. Many other countries that I've been to, you walk up to a booth, you say, "Hey, can I get a SIM?" They just give it to you. No name, no ID, nothing, just here you go. Would you like 2? Maybe bring 1 back for your friend. Nope, but in this country, it's a bit difficult. So I must say, in this country, cheating and tourist prices are almost not a thing, with the exception of the SIM card. Almost everywhere that you go, the price is the price. There's not a foreigner price and a local price, because that does exist in many other countries. In this country, everyone's equal, so the price is the price, which is awesome. Just be aware there are some companies who might try to cheat you. One of them was a large company called Camel Coach, and it's basically a large bus company. The driver and the seat arrangement helper guy in the bus, they definitely tried to cheat me and take advantage of me, and they tried to charge me double price. I caught them and I told them, and then they actually paid me the balance back. They definitely were not happy that I figured out that they were cheating them. What's interesting is I went to the front desk and actually reported them. Hey, your people tried to cheat me. The man at the desk, he just looked at me like, okay, what do you want me to do? Like, he had absolutely zero interest in looking into them. Name, bus number, license plate, didn't even care. He just said, okay, that was it. So just be aware, ask other people what the price is before you get on a bus or buy something kind of expensive. Otherwise, someone might take advantage of you. So one weird thing that I noticed in this country is men shave their legs. Not like one or two men in the whole country. It's like a thing, and I don't understand this. Not that I'm really staring at men's legs, but it really becomes obvious. Sometimes you sit on a bus or you sit close to someone and they have shorts on, and you can see like the stubble, kind of like you see the stubble on my face, you'll see that on their legs, and you're like, what the hell? I'm not sure what this is. They'll shave their arms, like completely shave their arms, shave their legs, just like a woman would. So that's a thing. I don't understand it. If you know anything about this, please comment below. I am stumped. I have no idea why this happens. People drink a lot of tea in Turkey. I was told by local people that on average, a typical Turkish man will drink anywhere between 10 and 30 cups of tea a day. 10 and 30, that's insane. 10 is insane. 30, I can't even imagine. Tea is a really big part of their culture. One annoying thing was Google Maps. When you're traveling and trying to zoom in using Google Maps, you can't zoom in very far. For some reason, the government and Google must have some type of connection where you're not allowed to zoom in very far and see things up close. No idea why, but that's like a thing. Unfortunately, it's hard to find specific things on Google because you literally just can't zoom in very far. It becomes blurry so quick. First time I've ever seen this before in any country that I've been to. In real life, my name is Brock. In Turkey, my name is Burak. Apparently that is a name in their language, their culture, their country, and my name sounds similar. So everywhere that I went, my name was Burak. Smoking is everywhere. Like literally, you'll even see younger kids kind of smoking off in the villages. So that's kind of weird. Smoking is literally everywhere. I've seen people in like small convenience stores smoking, definitely gas stations, walking down the streets, in the park, pretty much everywhere. It's very common. If you plan on visiting the southeast, just don't go for a hike alone. Try to stick in the villages, in the towns, in the cities. I talked to a local soldier and he said that there's terrorists living in the mountains. And basically everywhere that you go in at least the southeast, police will stop you constantly when you're on a bus or if you're in a car or on a motorbike, and they want your identification. They want to make sure you're registered and they know everything about you, because if you're coming down from the mountains, you could be a terrorist and they're probably going to detain you. So as long as you just have your passport ready, don't worry. I've been stopped a million times in 3 months, and they just want to make sure you're legitimate, and then they let you go. Now, I like tea and Turkish tea, but just be careful. Parts of Turkey is a bit underdeveloped, and I can only assume education is a bit low in certain areas. And sometimes the water that they use for tea, I can only assume that it's not the best water or the cleanest water. So I'm not talking about bacteria, but I'm talking about like heavy metals. Multiple times I've had a cup of tea and instantly I've had stomach pain, and instantly I felt terrible for like a day. This wasn't once or twice, it was multiple times in Turkey, which is very strange. Other times you drink tea and you feel fine. Other times you drink a cup of tea and you just feel like death. So just be aware. I can only assume that some people get cheap free water sources from a hose or a tap that's not clean, and it can cause stomach discomfort. So just make sure you go to a reputable place where other people are going. Hopefully that helps. Another thing that was a little bit difficult is when you travel from town to town to town, you need a new bus card. You need to go to like a machine, put money in it, it'll give you this card, then you take it to scan a bus or a train to give money to the bus or the train, because they don't accept cash. So you need this little card, and it's not in English, so someone will usually have to help you. So you just say, hey, can you help me get a card, and get your translation app ready. And basically, it'll get you around the city, no problem. But then the problem is when you leave that city to go to a new city, that card no longer works. works. You need to get a new card. So it just kind of gets frustrating. Every town that you go to, you'll have unused money. And so what I did is I would make a friend on my last bus stop and say, hey, here, take my card because I'm not going to use it anymore. I'm going to a new city. And they're like, oh, thanks. And that's pretty much it. So out of all 26 or 27 countries that I've been to in the world, Turkey goes down as having the worst breakfast ever. I know people are going to hate me for saying that, but it's just olives, tomatoes, a little piece of goat cheese, possibly another thin slice of cheese, which is fine. I like cheese, but I don't like olives, I don't like tomatoes, and slices of cucumber. Oh, and then a mountain of bread, and then of course a cup of tea. And that's it. It was everywhere that you went to traditional Turkish breakfast. I definitely didn't like it because I just don't like tomatoes, I don't like olives, I don't like bread. That got old in a hurry, so whenever I found a restaurant that had like eggs or something else, I was excited. So if you travel like me and you're on a budget, yeah, you don't have $1 million in your bank account, generally what I do is I stay at the cheapest hotel I can find, because then it allows me to spend more money on other things like travel and, I don't know, other things. Typically, I stay in a cheap hotel. On average within the country, I was paying between 120 and 300 lira each night. So that's actually quite reasonable, quite good. And honestly, the more you go east in the country, the cheaper things get. Again, it's a little bit more underdeveloped. I like that area because the culture is very unique and different. I don't understand it and it's so cool. And then plus it was cheaper there anyway. So just be aware, Western Turkey is quite a bit more expensive. Eastern Turkey is significantly cheaper. In terms of safety, never once did I feel unsafe in Turkey, and I mean never once, which is interesting because I just came from Greece right before Turkey, and I must say, out of all the countries I've been to, I've never felt unsafe like I did in Greece. Greece made me feel unsafe, specifically in Athens, Greece. I was so uncomfortable there. I was nervous to walk out and walk on the streets. It really made me uncomfortable. So going to Turkey, not even a problem. Again, in the developed or the underdeveloped areas, you can see where there's definitely a wealth gap. Even if you go to the underprivileged areas, people were so friendly, so kind, so nice, and so honest, just so helpful. People would go so far out of their way just to make sure you got to the place correctly or did the right thing, or I don't know, they just always take time out of their day to help you. So it was really just something special in Turkey. What I like the most about a country is the culture and the people. I don't care about the buildings, I don't care about the food, I don't care about the architecture, the landscape. Those things are cool, but the real reason that I travel is for people. And I must say, Turkey is one of those countries that I absolutely want to come back to. And I don't really say that a lot about many countries. Turkey was pretty cool. So if you travel for culture, this is definitely a country worth visiting. I definitely want to go back. And the last thing is, if you're going to use an ATM, make sure you go to HSBC or Hulk Bank. Those two banks I went to the most, and I can't remember because it's been a couple months since I was there. Basically, either they charged a very low international fee or they charged no fee whatsoever. Make sure you go to those two banks because some of the other ones were crazy. They would charge you huge fees. So just stick to those two banks and you'll save as much money as possible. So that's pretty much it. These are my notes from this country. If you're looking to go to Turkey or another country and you're trying to save as much money on your airline ticket as possible, be sure to click this link below and learn how you can do that. Make sure you get on the emailing list that sends you mistake fares. Oh my God, this is the best way to save money on any flight all around the world. So if you're not on that list, get on that list. It will help you out dramatically if you're starting to budget and plan. That's it. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. Remember, your time is running out. Start living